local, late-breaking. This is WAOV News 10 at 6.
Gunfire erupts this morning in Baton Rouge, leaving 3 officers dead and 3 other officers injured. Authorities say the gunman died at the scene. Good evening and thanks for joining us. The motive and method behind another massacre of police officers is still unknown tonight. Police say the call came in as a man carrying a gun down the highway. Let's get straight to Kimberly Kurth with the Raycom News Network in Baton Rouge. Kimberly?
We still have a very active scene here on Airline Highway in Baton Rouge, but it's important to point out that Louisiana State Police now say that they do not believe we have an active shooter situation here in Baton Rouge. They believe that the person who was responsible for shooting and killing 3 officers in Baton Rouge this morning.
Local law enforcers and the governor addressed the shooting in a press conference this afternoon. 41-year-old Matthew Gerald and 32-year-old Montrell Jackson are the Baton Rouge officers killed. A 45-year-old East Baton Rouge deputy also died in the shooting. They all asked for prayers and universally called for an end to such violence. The sheriff says it's not about gun control, but what's in the men's hearts.
And until we come together as a nation, as a people, to heal as a people, if we don't do that and this madness continues, we will surely perish as a people.
President Obama also denounced the shooting in a press conference from Washington within the last hour. More details. A witness to that shooting says he saw a man with a gun about 25 yards from him. Here's what he said about what he was wearing and the gun he had.
He was in all black. He was in black shorts or black shirt. He had a mask on and had a gun in his hand. The way he was moving, you would know that this was just a pedestrian running with a rifle in his hand more than someone with trained skills to move and get away with the rifle.
We sat down with community leaders and law enforcers in our community to talk about issues between law enforcers and their citizens. You can check Ben and Carla's conversation with them in our special dialogue called Bridging the Divide. It airs Monday night at 7:30 on WALB. Back here in Albany, police are investigating a fatal shooting overnight in South Albany. Police say 43-year-old Hassan McAllister died after being shot in the 1900th block of West Gordon Avenue. It happened around 1:15 this morning. Witnesses tell police they heard a gunshot and saw McAllister collapse near the roadway. At this time, no arrests have been made. There also has been no mention of a possible motive. Covering Sumter County, 2 people are injured after a pickup truck and an 18-wheeler collided near Lake Blackshear this morning. Crews spent the day cleaning up the intersection of Lamar Road and US 280. That's where officials say 81-year-old David Millis failed to yield in his pickup truck. Mills was flown to a Macon hospital in critical condition. There's no word yet on the extent of the injuries or the other driver. Neighbors say they're concerned by just how often wrecks occur at that intersection.
Come through here several times a day, and this is a busy intersection, and I don't know how they don't see these big trucks coming through here. And you know, this is like the second time this has happened in a month. You know, folks need to slow down. These trucks can't stop on a dime.
A truck driver was killed in a 3-vehicle crash at the same intersection in late June. Another hot day for us here in Southwest Georgia. Let's get to First Alert meteorologist Andrew Gorton for a look at the beginning of the work week. Take a look at what strong storms did in Iowa. High winds hit several multi-family apartment buildings in eastern Iowa. The structural damage is extensive, with roofs and walls torn away. Police also report a number of residents with minor injuries. A National Weather Service survey team will head to the area tomorrow to assess all of that damage. Tourists and locals in Nice, France today continuing to mourn the victims of the deadly Bastille Day truck attack. Flowers, candles, teddy bears, and notes of sympathy lay in tribute at the site of the attack that killed 84 people. French security services have come under criticism after the attack. This is the 3rd time that France has been hit in the past 18 months. One tourist says she was urged just not to come.
I woke up on Friday with a lot of text saying don't go to Nice, it's too dangerous this day. but I decided to come because I think life continues. This is something we have to live with.
We know that a man and woman were taken into custody for questioning. That leaves 6 people still being held in the wake of that bloodbath. A 7th, the attacker's ex-wife, was released from custody Sunday morning. Cleveland's police chief says it's game time and they're ready. This morning, Cleveland's mayor and police chief updated reporters on preparations for the Republican National Convention. The chief says hundreds of agencies and thousands of law enforcers are in town. All officers have been briefed on how to properly handle someone expressing their right to carry a weapon openly. Now, the chief says they're prepared for anything.
We always know in an operation this big that there are going to be some adjustments, and our plan is made so that we can adjust on the fly. And we've made some tweaks here and there, and I'm sure throughout the week we'll make adjustments also.
The convention gets underway tomorrow at the Quicken Loans Arena. It'll last until Thursday. Turkish authorities blocked traffic from entering one of Istanbul's international airports today. Cars were being blocked so authorities could remove military tanks in the wake of Friday's attempted coup. The unrest started late Friday with tanks rolling onto the streets of Ankara and Istanbul. At least 265 people were killed in all that violence. 2 people were killed and 1 person has been taken into custody after a shooting in a hospital in Florida. Police say an elderly patient and a woman in her 40s who works at Parrish Medical Center in Tootsville, Florida, were shot dead around 2 this morning. The sheriff's office says security officers at the hospital were instrumental in stopping the shooting.
Their actions to attack the suspect, both the security guards were actually unarmed, but their actions to attack the suspect and work as a team kept others from getting hurt. There's no question about that.
Authorities call the shooting random and don't believe the shooter knew the victims. A cemetery in Michigan is stirring up folks by allowing Pokemon players on the ground. What people for and against the idea are saying about it. And worldwide travelers found themselves in Albany to learn more about exotic animals. What the attendees say about the event.
Live, local, late breaking. This is WALB News 10's Today in Georgia.
The Justice Department is now involved in the investigation of a deadly police-involved shooting in Baton Rouge, the protests calling for action. And questions this morning about how an Albany child managed to get across a street into a swimming pool, the child's condition following the near drowning. The fatal police shooting of a black man early Tuesday morning in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, caught on video, has ignited outrage in that community. A man who witnessed the shooting and owns the property where it took place is speaking out about what he saw. Kim Hutcherson has more.
Thousands gathered for a vigil and protest in Baton Rouge in the parking lot of the Triple S Food Market, where Alton Sterling was shot and killed. The owner of the store had given Sterling permission to sell CDs on the premises. Abdullah Maflahi described what he saw.
And another man dead in an officer-involved shooting, this time in Minnesota. The aftermath was all captured on Facebook Live. Reed Binion has more, but we warn you, the video is graphic and some people may find it disturbing.
Minnesota authorities say a man is dead after being shot by police Wednesday evening at a traffic stop. The victim has been identified as Philando Castile. Details are still coming in, but the immediate aftermath of the
Albany police are looking for a gunman this morning who fired a bullet through the front door of an East Albany woman's front door. 83-year-old Annie Morris said it was close to 1:10 Wednesday morning when she heard what sounded like firecrackers outside her apartment in this complex on Don Cutler Senior Drive. When she went to investigate, she found a bullet hole in the window of her front door. Witnesses told police that a man started fighting Morris's grandson outside her apartment and fired shots at him. No one was reported injured. A 70-year-old man is recovering this morning after police say he was brutally beaten in front of a Moultrie package store. 38-year-old Stephen Larian is behind bars now in the Colquitt County Jail. Police say he admitted to beating the man outside Tommy's package store July 4th. Investigators David Jones says Larian did not give an explanation as to why he attacked the victim.
He got a broken nose. He suffered laceration to the back of the head that required medical attention, and also to his lip, and basically all around his face.
Larian is charged with aggravated battery and exploitation of an elderly person. Multiple prisons in South Georgia remain on lockdown this morning because of ongoing violence. The Georgia Department of Corrections confirmed 8 prisoners are on lockdown in response to rising tensions between prison gangs. That group includes prisons in Calhoun, Mitchell, Lowndes, Telfair, and Macon counties. Visitation is canceled at all those prisons. The system suffered a bloody June. It included the killing of an inmate at Calhoun State Prison and a brawl at another facility that sent 16 inmates to hospitals. A 3-year-old Albany boy remains in critical condition this morning as investigators look into his near drowning. Prince Wheeler was found in a pool at Nottingham Apartments Tuesday around noon. Investigators say there were 3 adults in the Wheeler's apartment, including his mother, at the time. The DA says they need to know how he got out of the home, walked across the street to the pool, and got past the child-proof lock in the pool gate.
But we still need to make sure that everything that could have been done by the custodians of the child was done to prevent this, and so that's all part of the investigation.
Edwards says at this time there are no criminal charges pending, but investigators will continue to look into questions about what happened. Chris Selman has your first alert forecast on this hot Thursday morning. Sylvester police need your help finding the man who robbed a man at a motel. 32-year-old Bobby Brown was taking trash to a dumpster at the Worth Inn on East Franklin Street around 6 Wednesday morning. When he got back to his room, a man with a gun forced him into the bathroom. Brown says he then heard another voice. Sylvester Police Department says they take crimes like this very seriously.
It's a danger to anyone that become a victim of such acts. It's just dangerous.
The robbers stole $100 from Brown and the television from the room. If you have any information, call the Sylvester Police Department. And an Albany woman was indicted in the stabbing death of her husband. Prosecutors say she fought the first responders trying to save his life. The grand jury indicted 34-year-old Kamisha Jackson for malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, cruelty to a child, and obstruction. Prosecutors say at about 4 in the morning on April 16th, Jackson stabbed 39-year-old Charles Porter in the thigh with a knife. He died a short time later. Prosecutors say the couple's 2 teenage children witnessed the attack, and when paramedics and police arrived, Jackson fought them.
She did not follow the orders of the officer at the scene as they're trying to respond and investigate. And secondly, she actually also engaged in offering and doing violence to one or more of the officers at the scene.
Investigators say Jackson had just returned from a nightclub when she fought her longtime husband as he slept on the couch in front of their home. Sumter County leaders say an audit of the sheriff's office uncovered more improper record keeping than they initially thought. Auditors from Fraser and Dieter say more than 600 transactions from a Social Security's account are prohibited by Georgia gratuities clause. The firm also noted the purchase of a truck with incorrect funds. Now, the county says they're also alarmed that deputies were paid in cash for off-duty assignments, in uniform, and using county cars. The commission is expected to address the audit with the sheriff at a meeting, but the sheriff says nothing has been said to him so far. He maintains that the audit was a political smear made by the commission chairman before the election. He says any improper accounting was an accident. You can read this story at WALB.com for the full report. Less than a month now until Dougherty County schools hit the books for the 2016-2017 school year. The school system is still in need of more teachers. WALB News 10's Zach Logan joins us now from the newsroom with more. A Georgia man is dead following a SWAT standoff in Mississippi, the sex crime he was wanted for. And a Florida man accused of taking an ambulance on a joyride. What he has to say in his defense.